Hey, what's up, folks? It's Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, it's Friday and I got your JASMY weekly update. So we got a bunch of different things to cover in today's video. We're going to be talking about the Sagan Tosu fan token going live. Real big deal. That is starting today. They've had a ton of interest on it. We'll be talking about that in today's video. I've also got some other updates on smart cities. We'll be talking about some smart city news that came out specific to Tokyo. We're going to be looking at the partner BORQS in particular. This is the wearable smart device IoT company chip maker partner of JASMY. They are also partnered with Qualcomm, so some big partnerships going on there. We'll take a look at circulating supply, as well as we'll take a look at the chart, which, by the way, is pumping right now along with the rest of the market. So great time to be a JASMY hodler, great time to be a JASMY investor. It's a great time overall. And by the way, I'm probably going to be doing a really bullish update next week that I imagine we'll be getting some raised eyebrows and some further buying from that video. So I'm going to be throwing that out to the universe, all right? So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday to all of you out there, back with your JASMY weekly update. Before I get into this one, just wanted to do a quick shout out to all of my friends over there across the pond in the UK. Sorry for your loss of the Queen. As I told Zippy, who's a member of our research group, she had a heck of a run, right? Basically was the monarch there for the UK for over 70 years. So quite a run. Awesome life for her, and I think it's there's nothing really to be sad about, more so just to be celebrated. So I'll leave it at that, but wanted to kick off today's JASMY video with the big news regarding the Sagan Tosu fan token. So this here is from the JASMY website, and I think this is the most important part that I want to highlight on the big news, because today was a big day, right, of it going live. So it says this. So Sagan Tosu fan token finally starting sale. Due to popular demand, we are sending out purchase information to those who have pre-registered by email. That pre-registration, right? Now it says, regarding sales to those who have not pre-registered, we will start accepting purchases on September 12th, Monday. So Monday. So we got a little bit more of a delay here, but overall, super bullish that this thing is coming out and that there is a lot of demand, right? So it says on this site, after you're informing you of the purchase method, so thank you for your understanding, please. Okay, great. So basically, they've gotten more demand than they can handle at the moment, and they will start accepting that on Monday for anybody who has not pre-registered. So thought that was pretty awesome. That's big time bullish right there, right? So we got a lot of interest. Now, I want to move over here to my feed, as I always do. I'll kind of scroll through here and hit the highlights for you for what's been happening this past week in JASMY. From there, we're going to take a look over at some BORQS news. That's a partner that I really haven't wrapped my head around very well yet. So I'm going to touch on that, and then we'll also just take a look at the chart with what is kind of transpiring at the moment. Big update, right? So starting out here first, so JASMY US on September 2nd posted the NFT fan token commercial. So there's a commercial here on YouTube that if you click on this link, either through my feed or through JASMY US's feed, you can find the Sagan Tosu fan token commercial. So thought that was awesome. He posted that on the 2nd. Moving on up, we had a post here from Hyde Para. This was on Fangia, the gentleman from this interview that I highlighted last week. Just some background stuff on him, so you can check that one out if you'd like. He's the one that's based in Shanghai and works for Accenture, which I even recently, I want to say it was just yesterday, saw a commercial for Accenture. So they're absolutely everywhere. Big shout out to you, Zippy, shouting me out. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Oh, this was really funny. So Uh, my my last video I did, I said, I think Auntie Jasmine is a woman. Turns out Auntie Jasmine is a man with a beard. Okay. So that being said, we went ahead and corrected that in our last phone call we did on Sunday for Jasmine, and unfortunately, that call was not recorded. We had some sort of error or something that happened there, so we didn't record the call. We will be recording them though from here on out, so we'll try to avoid that mistake in the future. But that one unfortunately did not get recorded, even though we had a great call. All right. Moving on up from there. So long on Jasmy. So this is a pretty good post. He showed the token release schedule essentially in his post here. We're like way ahead of that. And from everything that we've seen as a research group, our follow-ups with the official team, it sounds like they are well ahead of schedule for the business onboarding. All right. Moving on up. Let's see here. Oh, this was funny. So this kind of sums up the crypto market. I figure I'd share this with y'all. I like to share these jokes. So this girl's the newbie trader, and this is 2022. Look at her hair. What a great video. That about sums it up. I think I felt that way when I was at Hershey Park over the summer. Anyway, thought that was hilarious. Moving on up, here's a post here from Blake. This was absolutely awesome. So Blake, redid this image. There's Blake, me. We got Brian, Dip Metaverse, and Dr. Sean here. So thought that was absolutely awesome. Shout out to Blake on the artistry, editing skills. Thought that was super awesome. Loved it. Dip Metaverse, I'm going to cover a little more towards the end because obviously that circulating supply continues to update. Here's the other really big piece of news from Vitalik. So the merge is still expected to happen around September 13th through 15th. So basically next week, early next week, it will happen. What's happening today is the Bellatrix hard fork, which prepares the chain for the merge. Still important, though, make sure to update your clients. So that's a really big deal for quite a few different reasons, especially as it pertains to Jasmy. Jasmy is an ERC20 token, meaning it's on the built on the Ethereum blockchain. It also means that this would significantly increase the transactions per second, the TPS for Jasmy. The other implication there is that if you're buying Jasmy on a centralized exchange and you're moving it somewhere like a wallet, well, it's about to get a heck of a lot cheaper to move it. So those gas fees will be a thing of the past, hopefully, knock on wood, once that update goes through. So stay tuned for that, right? Okay, moving on up here. Here was a good post from Zippy. So what is SKC, the Secure Knowledge Communicator? It was created to safely and centrally manage all personal data generated in daily life as the property of the individual. Jasmy created an environment where you can choose whether or not to provide your personal info to a company. So that's pretty cool, this image that you found here with the Jasmy logo on it. This is basically what this thing looks like in like the chip version of it. So pretty wild there. And let me say also, going back to our call that we do every Sunday, if you have any questions at all, please route them all to Zippy Crypto. This is Lebo UK. Route them over to him. He'd be happy to bring them up to the group when we're doing our call this coming Sunday. All right, here we go. So here was a Jasmy management tweet regarding Sagan Tosu. And I quoted it where they said, Jasmy will also launch an original application that can store NFTs of fan token by the end of this month. So by the end of September, we should have an app out there. Now, I don't know 100% yet if it's only going to be available in Japan or if it will be available worldwide. I do know they've had a ton of interest, not just from Japan, but obviously the entire Jasmy community here in crypto. All of us have been following this and would gladly support it if it was available. So we'll see what's going on later. All right. Post from Blake here. So former tech executive joined the Metropolitan Government 2019 to help Tokyo push its digital strategy after spending about 20 years at Yahoo Japan, and is backed by billionaire Masayoshi Son's SoftBank Group Corp. So SoftBank in particular ties back to Masanobu Yoshida, who is one of the founders of Jasmy and also works with SoftBank. Okay. So that was a pretty bullish post there in terms of this new smart city that they essentially want to build with reclaimed land in Tokyo. So really neat post there. Shout out to Blake on that one. That was pretty cool. This post right here got a lot of attention. And let me just say here, I think I'm going to make a video that basically is solely about this. I haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it next week. I'll put it out there. But this kind of wraps it up in easy to understand terms exactly why I am so bullish on JASMY. So I said, when Cardano ran from 2 cents to $3.16, over 70% of circulating supply was locked up in retail staking. Okay. Now, JASMY is projecting 35 billion tokens out of 50 billion locked up in businesses, 70%. All right. Now, if another 2.4 billion, this is what's held out for the team to reach their KPI objectives, is held, and they add a staking mechanism potentially in a wallet in that app. That's what I'm talking about. Had somebody comment on that one about that they do offer that staking with Binance, and yes, they have offered that, but that's not really like staking within their own app. So that's kind of more so what I was referring to, and I didn't say it in the post, so I probably should have. But when you look at that, so you look at 70%, 4.8%, and potentially even more. So even though at the end of the day, this thing is going to say on CoinMarketCap that there's 50 billion circulating, that's not true at all. It is going to be way less than that. That's what could make this thing move big time. All right. This is poised for blast off. Okay. Moving on. This was really funny. And, you know, again, I love to share jokes here. So this is hilarious. I follow this account, not Jerome Powell. This was so funny. So it's Biden calling Jerome Powell. And he says, Jerome, tell me in one word how the market is going. And Jerome says, good. And then Biden says, okay, now tell me in 2 words. And he says, not good. I got a pretty good laugh at that one. I couldn't stop laughing about that. Anyway, here was a good post from Charles Hoskinson of Cardano fame, right? So, a universal truth about crypto is that the markets are disconnected from reality. Couldn't agree more. He's spot on this. There's so many, as you know, as we refer to as shit coins in the crypto market that move regularly, and the real projects sometimes get overlooked. He says Cardano has never been stronger, and frankly, many of the other projects are also solid across the industry. Yet you don't see that reflected, just a sea of red. Macro factors always win out. So, you know, he was kind of talking about how basically, you know, the market follows Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, unfortunately, has sort of been lockstep with the stock market, right? You know, prior to this whole huge downturn, everybody always said, "Oh, Bitcoin's a hedge against inflation," you know, and Bitcoin's a hedge. It's totally different, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like completely aligned with the stock market. So, you know, I don't know if that was the intent. Well, really, the intent behind Bitcoin was as a peer-to-peer payment system, but what it sort of morphed into, you know, what it was sold as, I don't know if that's what it entirely is. All right. Here's a retweet here from Dip Metaverse. So, some other observations in the last month, JASMY released about 4 billion tokens. I asked him about this, and he said basically the last 30 days from that. So, in the last 2 months, about 8 billion tokens. At this rate, it should take about another month to get to 45 billion, which will signify the project being in phase 3. So, pretty awesome post there. Manila Will, shout out to you, man. This was pretty cool. He managed to screenshot this, that we were at 33,333 hodler wallets. And, you know, let me say something else too, because I'm not sure everybody out there understands Etherscan. So Etherscan, what it does is it basically just captures transactions on the Ethereum blockchain. That's what it does. It is really not very intuitive. It's really due for a good update. You know, I can kind of think of, you know, if I was comparing this in the business world, I would say this is the difference between, you know, running a report in Excel and running a report in Power BI. Totally different. Some huge advances to go to Power BI. That's kind of like what Etherscan needs. Okay. So my point in all of this is that even though it says 33,333, That's not exactly accurate because anybody who's holding their coins on a centralized exchange, it's only counting that exchange's wallet. So what I'm saying is that let's say 100,000 people on Coinbase have Jasmy in their wallet. Well, it's only going to show up as Coinbase 6 and whatever that total amount of coins is. Okay. So the number's a little bit misleading. It's significantly higher than this. Right. Moving on up. So let's see here. Tokyo Bay ESG project is a smart city based on Society 5.0 goals. So this was the thing I highlighted earlier from Blake that Brian was referring to here. So with Web3, IoT, and AI as the foundation, if Jasmy's platform rollout is successful, I'm sure it will be there being showcased to the world. I agree, 100%. So this is definitely prime for Jasmy to be rolled out there within this smart city. So super cool. And that was, again, going back to Blake's post, great find. We have this one here. So CoinUp official new listing, Jasmy. So it's been a little while since we've had a new listing, but we've now got CoinUp official. So I did a retweet here from Zippy. So Zippy did a little research, and basically CoinUp was established Silicon Valley. Registered in the Cayman Islands, open operation centers Singapore, Canada, Switzerland, Hong Kong, and Australia as an international crypto. So thought that was pretty cool. We got another listing. And then Dip Metaverse here. So circulating supply update. This was from 3 hours ago. 200 million added to circulating supply, 600 million this week. And by the way, if you're not following any of the guys that I mentioned earlier, please do so, whether it be Blake, Brian, Dip Metaverse, Zippy Crypto, all the people in the space here do a ton of really good research. And also, Dip also has a YouTube channel, so follow that as well. So circulating supply range is between 41, basically 41 billion and 41.6. So 82 to 83% out there. Okay. Market cap based on it, 381 to 386. Hodlers, 33,406. Keeps on moving up. So thought that was awesome. Again, they have been releasing them strategically throughout this entire bear market, which is exactly when they should be doing it. And things are kind of getting poised to really blast off. I mean, the stars are really kind of coming into an alignment here with Jasmy, as well as the rest of the crypto market. Is looking for a good rebound. Okay. Now I wanted to show you this. So some of this research, this is basically research between Dip Metaverse and Zippy about BORQS. So BORQS is a partner of Jasmy, and I'll kind of show you their website in a second. But one of the things here was an older image. This was basically a chip with BORQS and Jasmy, a partnership. And then Dip made this comment about Qualcomm made the Snapdragon chip. Jasmy uses that chip. And so moving on down here through the various research, Zippy ended up finding a screenshot that sure enough referenced the Qualcomm chip with Jasmy. Okay. So I thought that was super bullish on there. I wanted to show just kind of this BORQS website for people who, may not get a full understanding of this. BORQS award. Let's see here. There we go. So welcome to BORQS. Yep. I had it and I lost it. That happens sometimes, right? Welcome to BORQS, global leader in IoT solutions, smart devices. That's like really annoying. There we go. Enabling internet intelligence. So all these different devices. So BORQS is like a chip maker and a device maker. Okay. And why this is important is they have that partnership with Jasmy. This is funny too. BORQS plus Zippy. So we thought that was really funny. But some of the smart devices here are smartphones, tablets, devices for vertical segments, wearables, BORQS automobile infotainment system. Okay. In the wearables, one of those is the smart watch in particular. And there's been numerous images with Jasmy with the smart watch. So this is yet another device that could tie back into Jasmy and IoT. So that's why they are a big time partner with Jasmy. So thought that was pretty awesome. All the BORQS updates. Oh, and something else I didn't share as well. This is also interesting for anybody who knows politics in the U.S. But one of the people what was it say? Investor? What was he? Uh, yeah, here we go. Nancy Pelosi's son is a top investor in BORQS, essentially. That's what it is. Okay. So if that tells you anything, that tells you that potentially their family, their group, obviously they're rich. They may be investing in this thing also, which here in the US, as far as I know, I don't think representatives, senators, etc. I don't think they need to disclose crypto holdings. They do disclose stock holdings, but not crypto. So that's a really interesting little wrinkle here. Is apparently Pelosi's adult son is also a big investor of BORQS, and BORQS is partnered with JASMY. So thought that was a good find there by the group, by Brian, Dip, Zippy. I didn't do any of that. That's all those guys. So good finds. All right, moving on forward. So the last thing I wanted to cover here is the chart. So here we are looking at the current chart here. And, I've seen some other videos that have come out recently with obviously some more in-depth chart analysis, etc. The main thing that I look at in the chart is I look at the volume. I look at the EMAs to see what they're doing. I look at the trend lines, etc. And roughly, I want to say it was either last week, maybe the week before, probably last week. When I did my video, I said, the JASMY chart has kind of moved into this wide open area where it could go kind of anywhere from here. Now, there was a huge jump today because Bitcoin was up roughly about 10% there for a little while. We'll see what happens here, but this whole area is kind of wide open at the moment where we, could be building towards a new trend. So overall, definitely a bullish time on the chart. Moving out from that, I want to say that here you go. So the RSI right now looks like people are getting a little bit of FOMO, right? We got some FOMO going on because it's a little bit in the overbought territory. But down here in the market cipher, we basically had a green dot essentially on the 2nd of September, and it's been moving up ever since. So that kind of corresponds with exactly what I shared in the last video, that it was basically poised to do a little bit of a breakout. Now, what's really interesting when you look at the volume, the volume has been really low over this stretch. Now, this could just be because I'm looking at Bittrex. So that's volume specific to Bittrex. That is not overall volume, okay? But what's telling here is that even if it's moving on low volume, that could tell you and imply that the circulating supply is far less than what Dip Metaverse is reporting right now, because obviously there's a lot of us that are holding the coin. Okay, so anyhow, that is it for the bulk of the body of the update. I will wrap everything up right now with some final thoughts, send it on home, and wish you all a fabulous weekend. All right, so for the final thoughts today, fan token, fan token, fan token. That's probably the biggest piece of news for this last week, and the fact that they've got more demand that they can handle. That's like music to my ears, exactly what I want to hear, right? Now, we also know that they should have an app come out for the fan token by the end of the month. I would love to see that app. Don't know yet if it's going to be available only in Japan or if it's available worldwide. I would hope at some point all of this stuff could go worldwide, because, you think about Sagan Tosu as a football club, there's plenty of people all around the world that would be supporting them as investors of JASMY, okay? So if they could do that, I think that would be super awesome. We haven't really had a Hara update yet, but that could be potentially around the corner. Regarding that smart city update, that was pretty interesting also, with the SoftBank tie, the tie back to Masanobu Yoshida, former founder of JASMY. That could be pretty bullish also, seeing what happens with JASMY in this smart city. Is it used there? I would highly imagine that it probably would be, okay? So I think that is a perfect proving ground yet again to roll out something like the JASMY blockchain, their technology, etc. So keep an eye out on that one. We'll see what happens there. That would probably align again with the data strategy for the government of Japan. All right. Now going to the BORQS partnership. So, some of that information is pretty interesting also regarding the chip that's basically co-made with JASMY. They're also partnered with Qualcomm on 5G technology. I didn't really get into that too much earlier in the video or click on any of those, but that's really what that was about. BORQS is an IoT company for smart devices, tablets, wearables, auto. All of that stuff kind of fits in there. And then you also have that tie back to, in a way, this sort of like loose U.S. government tie to, I think Paul Pelosi, specifically Nancy Pelosi's son, apparently is a big investor of BORQS. So, interesting, right? Looking at the circulating supply, hey, 82 to 83%. It's getting there, right? Once it's all finally out there, then we're pretty much primed for blast off on this coin. So we are getting really close on that. Time's running out. We got the ETH merge coming next week, 13th through the 15th. That's huge bullish news. Now, typically in the crypto market, I would say, usually crypto pumps on the rumor, sells on the news. So I would not doubt for a second if the market goes red whenever that news is finally announced. But even if it dips, I think it will pump hard after that, okay? Regarding the chart, we're in that wide open territory that I mentioned. So we're going up. Like I said, I've seen some other videos out there that are mentioning, doing a lot, more in-depth chart analysis than I do that are out there. So by all means, check out those, various channels. Mine, for the most part, I'm not a day trader. I am not watching this like a hawk. I'm kind of like the long-term strategy, macro, bigger picture investor kind of guy. Okay, so if you're looking for more so day trader, there's probably some other channels that can show you maybe some better TA on that. But in terms of what I'm looking at those EMAs, I'm looking at the trends, I'm looking at the market cipher, I'm looking at the stock RSI. So then again, I am kind of looking at some pretty important stuff. But anyways, very bullish week for JASMY overall. We'll see what comes of it with any HARA updates or JASMY management updates. I would fully expect that probably on either Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime next week. We should be getting some updates on them, whether it be on the FAN token or the Ethereum merge and those potential implications. So keep an eye out for that, all right? So if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button. Remember that I am also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Lately, I have been able to get a lot of videos in, so I do update Twitter frequently. So if you're on CT, definitely follow me on there. If you're not, you may want to think about getting on there. I've also got the website over here with the QR code that takes you to the various links, you name it, everything I've got in the website's there. As well as I had a kind of a synopsis and overview of JASMY in one of my blog articles. You can check that out. And then lastly, for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always says your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.